So welcome, fellow Autohaus fans and Porsche fans and family members. We really do appreciate you for coming out this evening. And just a couple quick notes about the 911. The 911 that you're seeing tonight is actually a completely new 911, but as we look through the showroom and you see the identity of the 911 and what this car has represented over the years, the first 911 was a 1963, I believe, 901. And the 901 was the initial code name for the Porsche 911 until there was a discrepancy with Peugeot. And Porsche then turned the 911 into the 911, and it has been so for many years. But you know, the past years of the Porsche 911 and how that car has evolved into what it is today is really quite interesting. You know, the very first 901 had a 5-speed transmission in its time, and back in those days was a 134-mile-an-hour car, which is actually, if you think about it in those days, really quite an impressive number. In the 70s, you know, as you see the car come down this way, you know, there was the first time we actually saw the word Carrera on a 911, and the green car that is in the showroom is really a great example of what Porsche means to a lot of people, and that is the history and the heritage of those cars. That particular car was actually shipped to our dealership in 1977 and was the car that my father drove for about 12 years until I took over that car and he got a new one, and I drove that car for 4 years. That car's been in our family and at this dealership since 1977 and is in its complete original condition sitting there. But the first of those real wide-bodied, turbo-looked cars, and when you stand behind that car, the way that it looks and the emotion that it evokes is something that everyone can really identify with. You know, as the 911, 1995 saw our first turbocharged version of the 993, which was actually a 4-wheel drive turbo, just another wonderful generational step. The 997 that you see here is really when the brand new Porsche PDK transmission was introduced to the car. While we had transmissions that were automatic into Tiptronics, the PDK is a double clutch transmission that has 2 sets of gears that are instantly selected, and it has really changed a lot of the driving dynamics of what you see in modern day automatic transmissions. The 991 now is this particular car happens to be featuring the PDK transmission, but this car, while it's only you know, the same model year technically as this is an interesting occurrence in the United States to actually have a 2012 and to have a 2012, but the 997 that you see sitting here actually shares only 10% of the same body and interior and parts components with the new car. So when you say that it's a completely new car, it really is a completely new car. It's rather remarkable to think that that little has transferred over from the 2 cars. And when you see that, and when you attend some of these Porsche functions, and when you look at these cars that they have cut away and cut in half, it really underpins the philosophy of Porsche, and that is that Porsche is an engineering company first, and that this is their heritage. Their dream is to build absolutely the best sports car year after year. And when you talk about Porsches with a lot of people have a very distinct tie to a certain model year, or I like those cars, I don't like, and Porsche stands back and says, you know, we like them all. And I can vouch for that, I like them all too. So I don't have a particular favorite, but I do know that the next one that they're going to bring out is going to be that much different than, and that much better than what the predecessor was. Porsche has some very interesting things that are happening right now. And to sort of bring you up to speed are the new production facilities that are going in Leipzig, which is where the new smaller Porsche SUV is going to be built. That car is called the Macan, and it's going to be coming to the United States here within possibly the next 24 months. We should have that car. That's absolutely a huge investment from Porsche. Porsche recently initiated a hiring spree in Germany, where they are actually taking their staff of 3,000 engineers and they are actually doubling it with 3,000 new hires for current product and future plans, which is also rather remarkable. A lot of the Porsche experience that Porsche is pushing is also manifest with two huge investments in the United States, where they are building a new Porsche headquarters in Atlanta, Georgia, and that will be complete with a customer experience center, a restoration facility, and actually a test track. And they've located that in Atlanta, Georgia, which is within 2 hours of 50% of the population of the United States by flight. So they expect to see a lot more people attending and actually visiting the factories and interacting with them. When they announced that Porsche headquarters, they simultaneously announced a driving experience center that they're going to be building in Los Angeles within 30 minutes of the Los Angeles International Airport, and thereby covering another vast amount of North American population. Huge global growth plans for Porsche. Of course, any German car company is going to announce world domination as one of their goals, and Porsche is really no different. So, the other thing that I think is kind of interesting is the fact that Porsche recently, when we had the economic crisis in the United States, they canceled their European delivery program. And I'm here to tell you that the Porsche European delivery program has been reinstated and is going to be available again to customers for interaction. If you ever have the chance to go overseas to take delivery of a Porsche, come see me. I'll walk you through it. I know all the bars in that area, the good beer halls, and a good butcher that's local. I also there's another 991 back here that we'll also unveil. So we have 2 cars here for you to see, and then we'll also have a white 911 outside in case anyone is interested in seeing how they perform on wet roads, which is, believe it or not, impressive. Okay, so time to let us have this 911. Again, as I said, 90% new parts on it, a completely different interior. Yeehaw!
Sprung for the yellow one.
Wait till you see the blue one. So, I think that rather than bore you with what's different about the car, I'm going to point out that we have several Autohaus salespeople here that are mingling with you. Guys, these cars are open. Feel free to sit in them. Feel free to experience them, touch them, and ask any question that you might have. This happens to be a Carrera S model. Those are the 3 cars that we have here. They are all Carrera S models. On the back panel of the dealership, in the showroom here, you'll also see the display panel. And on that panel are some future plans for Autohaus Lancaster. And those of you that know the dealership and drive by on a regular basis see that we're moving a lot of earth out back, and we're buying a lot of asphalt. And we intend to put that to good use with the future investment. The showroom that you're standing in is actually going to be torn off. Will be split in 2 and expanded the length of the showroom. And one half is going to be a new Volkswagen facility. The other half here is going to be a new Audi facility. And in the back lot is going to be a standalone Porsche showroom. And the back half of that will then also feature a used car sales facility. So it's kind of some exciting stuff. So I put that up over there in case any of you guys are looking at it and have interesting. It's interesting to talk about. So without further ado, I present to you the new 911.